Contentment is great gain. In a quiet town, not far from the kind of village where the cock's crow marked the beginning of the day, there lived a young girl called Joy. She was the only daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Okafor, a couple known for their hard work and humility. Her father was a carpenter who carved chairs and stools from rough wood, while her mother sold roasted corn and groundnuts at the roadside to help put food on the table. Life was not easy for the family, but they lived with gratitude for whatever little they had. Many days, food was just a small plate of gari with groundnut or yam without stew. Yet in the midst of this, Mr. Okafor would always remind his children, "He who is not content with little will not be satisfied even with plenty." But among his children, it was Joy who struggled most with this lesson. From her early years in school, she noticed that some classmates came with new sandals, shiny water bottles, and lunchboxes filled with jollof rice, chicken, or fried meat. She would look at them, then look at her own small wrapper-tied package of beans cake, and bitterness would rise in her heart. At first, she tried to hide it, but soon envy became her companion. Whenever she came home, she would complain bitterly to her mother. "Mama, why is it that others eat rice and meat every day, but I eat akara and pap? Why is it that my classmates wear fine dresses, but I wear second-hand ones? Mama, why are we always poor?" Her mother, patient as ever, would sigh and pull her closer. "My daughter, wealth does not buy happiness. The child who rushes to be like others may rush into the pit. Ego adihi emeka madu dindu. Money does not give life. Be thankful for what we have. One day God will open doors for us." But Joy never listened. To her, contentment was weakness and patience was an enemy. As she grew older and entered secondary school, Joy found new friends, girls from wealthier homes. They wore perfume that filled the classroom before they entered. They had shoes that clicked on the cement floor like city women. They carried phones, small and flashy, that made Joy's eyes widen with desire. She began following them everywhere. At first, they tolerated her because she was quick to praise them and run errands. Soon, she became almost one of them, though she was never fully accepted. Her parents noticed the change. She no longer came straight home from school. She lied often about where she had been. Church became a burden to her. Even when she went, her heart was with her friends. One Sunday, the pastor preached on contentment. "Those who desire to be rich at all costs fall into temptation and many foolish and hurtful lusts. Contentment with godliness is great gain." The words pierced her parents' hearts, but Joy only rolled her eyes. To her, these were empty sermons meant for people who had no ambition. One evening after Joy came home late from a friend's birthday party, her father sat her down. His voice was heavy with disappointment. "My daughter, hear me now. The goat that follows the owner of a leopard will surely enter the leopard's den. If you keep running after people just because of what they have, you will fall into trouble. Be content with what you have." But Joy waved him off. "Papa, you don't understand. How can I keep wearing the same clothes every time? How can I drink gari when others are eating chicken and ice cream? People will laugh at me." Her father's eyes filled with tears. "It is better for people to laugh at you today than for people to cry over you tomorrow." But Joy's ears were deaf. Her friends soon began to introduce her to a new life. They told her about parties where big men would come and give money freely. They whispered about girls who changed their lives overnight, moving from small houses to riding in cars, all because they knew the right people. At first, she was hesitant, but each time she went to school and saw her friends with new hairstyles, expensive bags and phones, her heart burned. She wanted to belong. One fateful afternoon, her friends told her of a big party happening in town. "Joy, this one you cannot miss. Big men will be there. If you come, your life will change." Her heart pounded. She thought of her father's warning, her mother's tears, even the pastor's sermon. But then she remembered the laughter of her classmate who mocked her old shoes and simple clothes. She made her choice. That night, she dressed in borrowed clothes and followed her friends. The place was a big compound with loud music, flashing lights, and strangers everywhere. At first, it felt exciting. She danced, drank, and laughed. But as the night grew deeper, she was led away into a quieter, darker part of the building. "Why are we here?" she asked nervously. "Don't worry," one of the girls whispered with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You will thank us later." Then she saw men she didn't recognize. Their faces were hard, their eyes cold. Suddenly, the air grew heavy. Fear gripped her. By the time she realized it, it was too late. She had walked into a trap. Her so-called friends had delivered her to ritualists. For days, Joy did not return home. Her parents searched frantically. They went to her school, they asked neighbors, they reported to the police, they prayed, wept, and begged God for mercy. Mr. Okafor could hardly eat. "Where is my daughter?" he cried. "Has my child perished in her stubbornness?" In the village, tongues began to wag. Some said she must have eloped with a rich man. Others whispered darker things. Her mother wept every night, holding Joy's small wrapper, begging heaven for a miracle. The days dragged into nights, and still, Joy was missing.